Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Authentic Audience podcast. So last year, Clay and I got a wonderful piece of advice from a friend, and he suggested that we invest in a business coach. Clay and I spend a lot of our time coaching other people and not a lot of time on our own internal business model, on our own brand, marketing ourselves, which goes along with that saying that the cobbler tends to have shitty shoes because we spend all of our time focused on other people's brands, content, messaging, and not nearly enough time on our own. So Clay did a lot of research and he found David. And David has been incredibly instrumental in everything that we've been able to accomplish and launch in the last 6 months or so. If it was not for him, we would not have launched our authentic marketing program. I would have not launched this podcast. I would have not been posting on my Instagram, on my stories. He was the one that really pushed me and challenged me to start sharing more about the business, to start talking more about my own personal purpose or Dharma within my business. And doing that on Instagram has led to so many new collaborations, projects, clients, etc. And I'm also giving a big talk in Boulder at the end of this month on marketing. And if it was not for David, I would not be doing any of that. So he is wonderful and has completely shifted our business model, shifted our personal brand, and given us a really beautiful sort of outline and foundation for everything that we will be building. And I am so grateful to have him in my life and so grateful to introduce him to you. So in addition to working with high-level entrepreneurs, David Pare is the co-founder of a company called the Embodied Influencer. In the Embodied Influencer program, David works with startup coaches and entrepreneurs who are looking to turn their gifts into profitable and impactful online brands. Sounds pretty good. David is dedicated to supporting people in the process of stepping into their Dharma and creating a business around their gifts. Welcome to the podcast, David.
Thank you, Krista. I'm happy to be here.
I'm so happy to have you here.
Yeah, this is fun.
This is fun. So that's fun that we're using the word Dharma now.
Yeah, well, like I was telling you earlier, Dharma was not something that I used often before, but it represents a lot of the work we do. And I remember that one conversation we had around you getting like, I don't know what it was, but you got like or some person who told you like what your word was, and your word was Dharma. And ever since then, I've been like, yeah, I like that word. And so it comes out a little bit more in my messaging.
Yeah, it's her name's Erin Weed, actually, and I'm going to have her on this podcast because I'm doing her speaking program, and she has this thing called the Dig, which I really recommend for you and anybody to do. And she does this really cool thing where she like asks you a bunch of questions about your life and your business, and it seems really like not relevant. And then she gives you like your process or your flow, and like you get a word, and my word turned out to be Dharma. And before that, I wasn't using that word. I didn't know it was my word. And I realized that it is in fact a huge part of everything that I do. So now I'm bringing that into my world. And the speech I'm giving in Boulder is called How to Market Your Dharma.
Yeah, that's awesome. Badass.
Yeah, so that's all very exciting. So you came into our lives because Clay was obsessed with finding a coach, somebody to help us with our brand. And he's an avid researcher and takes a really long time to make decisions, but I'm glad that he found you. So David came on with us and was working with us weekly. Was it for 3 months?
For 3 months, yeah. It lasted longer than that because of your whole wedding happening mid-coaching.
So we decided to launch our authentic marketing program 2 weeks after we got married.
Good timing.
So David helped us launch that program. Because of you, we have this program. And originally, we were just sort of like doing agency work with month-to-month clients. And one thing that David is really good at, in addition to this program, which we're going to speak a lot about today, is working with more high-level entrepreneurs. We had an agency model, and we sort of had plateaued because we could only, take on so many clients and we could only make so much. And so David created out of thin air for us like a scalable way to grow authentic audience. And that was what the Authentic Marketing Program was. We took 10 people through it. We just finished the first round, and it was so exhausting.
But transformative.
But transformative. Everybody loved it. Everybody had such a great experience, and we learned so much. And the really exciting piece is David and his partner, Christina, are potentially coming on as coaches for the next marketing program that we give. David will have a cameo of some sort.
Beautiful.
Around sales.
Yeah, let's do it. It's funny. Today I was just building out the sales module in my program, and it's some gold stuff. Like, it's stuff that people aren't talking about when it comes to like authentically selling your program and your offer. And it's I feel like this direction is going to lead people to completely like shattering their existing understanding of sales to really sell in a much more empowering way. So yeah, down to help any way I can.
Yeah, well, we had a call. I was started to freak out about the sales piece. I think that's a really hard thing, like especially when you're really close to it.
Yeah.
And you're sort of selling yourself. It becomes really challenging. And so we had a call when we had developed the program. Everything was great, and then it was coming time to launch it. And David and Clay insisted that I was the one that should be taking the sales calls.
Yeah.
And there's something about the word sales call that just feels inauthentic.
Yeah.
And you got on and basically schooled me. And the idea behind it was I had an offer that would transform someone's business.
Yeah.
And if I didn't make the sale, you said something along the lines of, and I stole this, and I actually say this all the time and take it as my own, is, if you don't make the sale, you're doing them a disservice.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I find the sales call environment is such a sacred space for transformation to occur. And it's like, that's the opportunity that we get to fully serve our clients so they can make an empowered choice to literally change their life. Like, if you know 100% for certain that your process could impact somebody's life and change a trajectory of where they're going, then hell, why would you hold that back from them? Right. And I think it's unfortunate that we've created this sort of paradigm around what sales is, and like, the used car salesman and all that kind of like those beliefs and paradigms and what sales really is. But ultimately, it's simply the art of guiding somebody to make an empowered choice to living their best self. And
Wow.
we get to do that on the sales call.
I wish you could do all my sales calls. But the crazy thing about me doing these sales calls on the program was I was 10 for 10. So I closed every call. And that was a pretty incredible feeling. Of course, I got on a lot of calls and people weren't right for the program, which is where David's new program comes in. And this is kind of a perfect transition to that. But what happened when we launched it was we got a lot of people that reached out, and we had sort of specific requirements that it's not that I didn't want to work with people at all, but if they didn't meet these certain requirements, then we really couldn't help them as best as we could. So what we're really in the business of doing, whether you're going through the program or coming on the agency side, is scaling something that's already there. So we need you to have a website. We need you to have an offer, something that's sort of like proven that this will make sales and this will generate sales, because we're going to ask you to invest in ad spend, and we're going to ask you to do a lot of things up front that if we don't see that your business is in a place to do that, my worst fear ever is always taking people into the red.
Yeah.
And sometimes, a lot of times with marketing, we have to do that the first few months. You have to go negative to invest a few thousand, whatever dollars. And if your business isn't in a position to do that, I cannot morally and ethically take you on as a client. And so sort of the differentiators between our program and David's program, which I'm going to let him tell you all about, is basically if you have a current brand and a current audience and you want to grow that audience, come to us. If you don't have a brand, if you don't know your messaging, if you don't have content, don't know what to post, all of that stuff, if you want to build your brand, you go to David. If you have an offer that is already selling and you're ready to scale that, we can help you scale it. If you have no idea what your offer is or how to price it or how to talk about it, you go to David. So that's sort of like the, I don't know, overall or like high level. But basically the Embodied Influencer program, David came to us 2 weeks ago and said, hey, we want to offer a program to your people. And I'm so happy about this because so many people come to us and they're not ready and I don't know where to send them. And I don't have anybody that I really trust either to transform people's lives. And because I went through this with David, he transformed my brand, my business, my message, my mission, all of it. I'm so excited to send people your way. So why don't we sort of back up a little and have you tell us about the program, how it came to be and what exactly it is.
Sure. Real quick before we dive into that, I want to touch on something because you were saying that you have been saying no to people on these calls if they're not a good fit. But like, I want to touch on real quick how challenging that was for you at first, because like most people have especially you, like you did not want to say no to anybody and you did not want to, put somebody into like, not a box, but just really have them meet those qualifications, but you just wanted to help everybody. And so I'm so excited to work with you because now you can say yes to those people at a lower level and you don't have to say no to them. But let's talk about that because I feel like it's so important to maintain the integrity and authenticity of your brand by only saying yes to the people who are the best fit for your program.
Yeah, that sucked. I mean, it still sucks because like, who am I to like turn somebody away? Like, it becomes this ego game. But what you said to me was like, what are you really in the business of doing here?
Yeah.
And you have to get really specific. And so we have this sort of 4-quadrant approach. And Dan, one of our other mentors, he's coming on the podcast, I think next week, but we already recorded it. And he talks about this, like sort of 4-quadrant, like internal sort of checklist when somebody comes to you that they need to meet in order for you to help them the best that you can. So the shitty part is I feel like I can help everybody.
Yeah.
And I want to help everybody, especially if they check my first quadrant, which is you have an authentic and meaningful offer. And most people that come and find us they have this like super big dream or exciting purpose. And I have to say, hey, you're not ready for us yet. And I didn't have an offer for them like, okay, hey, go do this, build up your message, build up your content, solidify your offer, which I could help everybody with, which was the hard part.
Yeah.
Because I could help them with those things, but at the end of the day, they're not going to see the results that I know I can give somebody else if they already had those things, like those steps sort of taken care of. And I still have a really hard time saying no.
Yeah, well, it's sort of a paradoxical thing because like we think that by saying yes to everyone who comes our way that we're actually like maximizing our potential and maximizing our business and truly supporting and serving everyone. But the truth is like if you're working with like a bunch of people at different stages, that means you have to apply different strategies and a different focus to each of those people. And it's like you're now widening your ability to serve each of those people because or actually, you're not widening it. You're what is the opposite of widening?
Narrowing it.
You're narrowing. Thank you. You're like thinning. You're narrowing your ability to really serve them because, well, you just don't have the capacity to handle all of these different strategies in space in a really big way. So if you're looking to make a huge impact on the world and impact, a certain group of people everywhere you go, well, focus is needed because there's a lot of people at that stage that you can help. And if you're not narrowing one, they're not going to find you and you're not going to stand out in the noise. And 2, you're not going to be able to serve those people to the best of your abilities. So I'm super excited that we're partnering and doing this because it allows us to say, yes to the right people and then pass the people that aren't necessarily a good fit for us to somebody that we know we can trust. Like, I can't wait to be getting on phone calls with people that I know are a great fit for Authentic Audience and be like, look, like, I could support you, but my focus is here. So you got to go talk to Krista and Clay because they have your back and they're going to help you every step of the way.
I love that. That's like my bigger dream in all of this, is to be able to have somebody come to me and say, like, this is what I need help with. And if I can't help them, then it's like I have this sort of collective of amazing creative experts that I can say, hey, here's your person. Like, here's who you need. I never want to not be able to help somebody. So that's sort of where that challenge lies. And that's where this sort of fills this program that you and Christina are doing. David's partner, Christina, is amazing. I got on one phone call with her and she said, what did she say? And I was just, she was like, I'm obsessed. Yeah. She goes, I'm obsessed with marketing and I'm obsessed with business. And also I'm in witch school. And I was like, you're hired. Yeah. So she's incredible. They make a really good team and they've launched this program together. So
also, I love when I started working with you and Clay, I was like, wow, these people are like such a match, because you and Clay would get on the calls and you guys are together and you have a similar, like, differences, that Christina and I have. And I was like, this is going to be a fun ride.
Yeah, it's great and it works. And because what I've learned in all of this is you can be like spiritually grounded and intuitive and, all of these sort of things that Christina and I are focused on that really help us, I think, support our clients, but without a strategy, without business tactics, without results. And that's one thing that you helped us with a lot too, that you just touched on, is the focus. Like, you wrote me an email once and you were like, I really appreciate all of these ideas that you have, but like, I'm going to challenge you to like stay focused on the project that we have in front of us, get that launched.
Yeah.
And because of that,
I don't know if you ever answered that email.
No, I never wrote you back. But it really like hit home where I'm like, okay, I need to start focusing in 90-day sprints. Yeah. Which is why the marketing program is 90 days. And why your program is 90 days, because we both sort of believe in this model of, if you can spend 90 days on one thing. And I was just telling a client this last week, she was like, I have so many ideas for online programs and courses and blah, blah. And I was like, okay, we're going to spend the next 90 days launching one. Yeah. And this is what we're going to focus on. And we're designing it for someone specific. All of this advice that you've given me.
I'm so proud of you for saying that to them.
So we're sort of like ping-ponging back and forth with the advice. And together with Clay and I on one end and David and Christina on another end, I really feel like we can help like a lot of people do this amazing work. And it's what's beautiful with the marketing program that we just took people through is everyone was successful. And we have a couple of clients that said that they made more money in the last 3 months than in the last 2 years. Woo! Yeah. And you helped us do that too, like with the program, and we were so inspired by it and we delivered so much value to people. We're actually like almost doubling the price for the next one, because we realized how incredible it is. And that's a whole nother thing, is pricing. And it's so uncomfortable trying to sort of decide what you're worth. And that was something that you helped us with a lot. And you do that in this program as well. Yeah. Right?
Well, a big portion of that is like people get, especially people who are like the people that we work with and the people that you work with, like they're entrepreneurs who are really connected to their work. Like they're not creating something just to be a separate robot system to work without them. Like these are people who really, really believe in their work, and they're doing this because they feel like they have their own Dharma that they need to share with the world. And so when we get into pricing, what happens there is people start connecting their own worth to the price. And then so any limiting beliefs of themselves come up, because the truth is we would do this work for free. Like we would just get on these calls and help people and serve people and give them all this value because this is what we love to do. So to put a price tag, especially a price tag that we believe is high on the work that we would do for free, seems almost crazy to believe that we can get paid like incredibly abundantly for the work that we do so naturally. But what I find is when we can actually separate ourselves from that process and recognize that the value is what the client sees in the result. Like they have a certain perception on how valuable that result is going to be for their life. And really, when you think about it, like scaling your dream, like scaling your gifts into a business that serves you, like how valuable is that really? Like if you say you're in, helping people with their relationships, like saving their marriage, how valuable is that really? Like helping them tap into their gifts and their fulfillment and meaning in their life. Like how valuable is that really? Like immensely valuable. And we get to be abundantly paid for this work that we do. So,
It's so funny. I love that. And for me, like it started out where I didn't want to charge what we ended up charging for the program. And then you and Clay really convinced me. And it wasn't that I didn't think I was valuable. It was like, I just didn't know if people were going to take it. And what happened was no one flinched. When I said the price, I like had this whole sort of thing ready to go. Like, okay, like we can break it into sections or payments or whatever. And everyone was like, great, where can I send it? And so then it turned into, though, like now I sort of have this mentality where I've taken it the other way because I've so bought into what you've been telling me.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, you don't want to invest like $4,000 in your business, in the future of your business, like go to hell. Yeah. Like, because now it's telling me you're not taking it seriously and you don't believe in it, because that's the thing. If you don't believe that you can make $4,000, that's how much our program was the first time, back in 90 days. And I think everybody in our program pretty much did that. Then it means that you actually don't believe in your business. Right. Mm-hmm. So like, that's another piece of this and taking people on is if they can't invest that money up front, if it's really going to take them in the hole that much, then I don't suggest you do it. But at the end of the day, like if you don't believe in your offer enough and that like your mission and your purpose to like invest this money in living your dream, then I don't want to work with you because I'm going to dive in and I'm going to invest everything. So I like had this total change of mindset where it wasn't about me and like my value. It was about the value you're putting on your business,
Love that. Yeah. Like money is just energy. And when we recognize that when we decide to commit to an energetic exchange that might make us uncomfortable at first, we're committing to our own evolution.
Yeah.
Right? Like over the past few months, Christina and I have invested over 20K in mentors and coaches. Like I would never have imagined, like that's more than my parents used to make in a year. Mm-hmm. So like that stuff like that would bring up deep scarcity triggers, but all of those scarcity triggers are my ego trying to protect myself from, from expanding, from changing, from dying. But like our life is an ever growing process of letting go of the old version of ourselves so we could step into the new. And money is no different. When we commit to an energetic exchange that scares us, that expands us, that makes us uncomfortable, then we're saying that's how much, just like you said, that's how much my dreams are worth. That's how much my vision is worth. That's how much my purpose is worth. And I'm willing to invest in that because I believe in myself and my ability to make that happen. So that's huge. I love it.
I love it too. And I love, I'm so glad we found you because it was a big investment for us too, to like hire a coach. And ever since we had that experience with you, we've set aside now in our business budget, like a certain amount every year for coaching and I think it's really important when you are like a solopreneur or somebody that isn't necessarily working in a big office with 1,000 people. And most of our work is coaching other people. So in order for us to grow, we have to invest just like our clients are investing in us. We need to invest in coaches as well. So that's been a really cool part of Authentic Audience that I didn't even think about until last year. And now I can't wait. Like this last year, Clay picked you. And so this year I got to pick and I invested in the speaking coach, Aaron, who gave me my word, Dharma. So it all sort of like comes back around. And that's what I'll be doing in March is giving this speech after doing this like 3-month, 90 days. It's a secret number, 90-day program of learning how to speak publicly, because as much as I talk, I've never done it in front of hundreds of people. So that should be fun.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I can't wait to watch it.
I know it's going to be great. And now, thanks to you, I know how to then like position it and message it and get it out there so people actually see it. let's talk about the program, like just basics, like
Yeah.
how long is it? What is it? How did you sort of come up with this? And, what are you what is the journey or process you're hoping to take people through?
Yeah, for sure. So the program is 90 days. Funny. Um, we're thinking of actually extending it for a few more weeks and actually doing, instead of basically, we have group calls every single month where we bring every single week, that we bring people through. We actually are going to create a week just for like integration. So it might expand to 120 days, so 4 months. But yeah, the premise of the program, like basically we want to help entrepreneurs, coaches, we want to help them take their gifts, take what they feel they're called to do, and we want to help them turn it into an online brand that gets their message out to the right people, right? So overview of the whole thing is we're going to help you find out exactly who you're meant to work with, right? Like not just anybody in the marketplace, like who your gifts, who your skill set, who your experience is going to be best served with. Then we're going to help you take that and turn it into an offer that fully supports you and can give your client the transformation that they're looking for. We're going to help you price that, and then we're going to help you take it to the market so you can test it and actually validate it to prove that it's not what you think your audience wants, but it's what your audience actually wants. Right? Once you're crystal clear that you know that this is what your audience actually needs and wants, then we're going to show you how to build up an audience. We're going to show you how you can create content that resonates with you, that connects to your audience. And we're going to show you how to turn that content and turn that audience into actual phone calls so you can empower this audience to make the decision to move forward with your offer and your program. And that's the gist of it. We're going to help you set that whole system up so you can do it over and over and over again. But aside from that, like there's going to be profound mental shifts that happen, because this is the process of stepping into the uncomfortability of finally living your truth, right? Of finally living your Dharma, of saying, hell yeah, I'm going to actually build a business around my gifts. I'm going to build a business around what I love. It might be scary as hell, but this is my decision. So we're going to help you set that momentum up for 3 to 4 months so that you can keep going and move to the stage where you can hire Krista and Clay to really support you in scaling it up to the masses.
I'm so excited about this because a lot of people came to us that they weren't quite in the place that we could really help them, but I took them on anyway, and we ended up spending a serious amount of time on these pieces, but not 4 months, right? We spent like 2 weeks on it. And I think the process of actually like building the foundation for your online offer is, I mean, the online space, obviously, like very successful, very lucrative space. I mean, you can go from seeing people in person, driving 10 hours a week, to different client calls, this, that, and another thing, to like 20 Skype calls a week. That's what my sister's just done. It's like truly, truly amazing. And I like was such a hater sort of on like online sort of programs or even group calls. And my favorite 2 programs I did this past year were group coaching programs, because it wasn't just me and the coach. It was me and the coach, and then also like this other community of people that are on the same path. Same with this speaking program. It's not one-on-one. There's a whole group in the room talking about our message and our fears around speaking and all of this stuff. So it's like so much more powerful. And now I feel like I have this little like support group around it. So my fears or my things that were like against this like online group coaching thing have been totally debunked like completely. And my 2 biggest mentors both lead very successful online like group coaching programs. And so when you told me about this, I was like, oh my God, this is what I need. Like, can I offer this? And you said yes. So I'm going to start helping promote this. I'm also going to be a guest coach in this program. I'm going to come on and meet your crew and talk to them about branding. And I think I've decided, I haven't told you this yet, but I want my topic that I come in to talk about to be on resistance.
Okay, cool.
Just because it's something that comes up on pretty much every single call with every single client. And you dealt with it a lot with me when we were, flipped and I was your client. And so when you decide to put something out there, like by hiring David, by going through his program, it's like this commitment to stepping in to your fire and like really doing the work. And when you put like a monetary investment behind something, it becomes real. It becomes serious.
Yeah.
And you have somebody holding you accountable. And that's what David really did for us is every week we'd have like homework. And if we didn't do the homework, and it's funny, this is what happens with our program too. They're like, oh my God, I have to finish this for Krista, right?
Yep.
When it really, I'm like, you guys, like, this is for you. This is for your business, but they get all like weird because somebody else now all of a sudden is like in their space.
Yep, 100%.
And holding them accountable.
What was that book that Art of Resistance? Is that what it was called?
It's called The War of Art.
The War of Art. So when you recommended it to me, I bought it immediately, and I probably listened to the audiobook like twice already. And that talks all about resistance. I think it's such a powerful topic because we all face it. Like every single, like there's all this, especially in like this whole, in the new age realm, there's all this shit about, only feel good. Don't do anything that doesn't feel good to you. And that shit's making you play small. Like if you're not willing to step into the resistance, which is basically you saying, I'm willing to expand, you're not going to move forward. You're not going to expand. You're not going to evolve. Like this shit can be challenging to do what you've never done before. It's going to be challenging to step into places, into arenas that you've never been. It's going to be new. Mental challenges and blocks are going to come up. You're going to have to put yourself in positions that you haven't done before. Like it's going to be scary as hell, but that's the ride that we chose as entrepreneurs, to do something that expands us, that doesn't just keep us small, but allows us to live a life that is worth living.
And I think too, like, I love that. And the whole resistance game, like I'm taking it sort of a step further in my talk that I'm giving. And I'm saying like, if you're not feeling resistance, maybe you should take a good look at what you're doing, because what Stephen Pressfield says in that book is that sort of the bigger the dream and the closer you are to it, the stronger the resistance.
Yeah.
And so if you're truly like living your Dharma, like have this dream of helping people, of growing your business, of doing all of these things, of being of service, and your resistance is just in the front seat, that's actually amazing. Like that's fucking incredible. And I'm trying to help people shift their mindset. Like when you see resistance, use it as fuel instead of letting it like paralyze you, right? Like I have this friend right now who is so close to quitting his job. Like he's got this big corporate job and has like this huge dream, and I cannot wait to see him on the other side of this. But the resistance is so strong. He's got a book on his bedside table called like Take the Leap or something, and it's about like quitting your job and living your life doing what you love, and he can't even open it.
Oh my God.
And I was like, wow. That means you're so close.
Yes.
Like he is so close. The resistance is so strong because our ego wants us to fail. Our ego doesn't want us to like live in the flow state.
Yep.
And when you are doing that thing that you love, when you're coaching, when you're whatever it is, for us, it's helping people grow their businesses. We like live for it. Especially if it's like meaningful and their offer is going to help other people. Like I can't wait to get it out to the world, but whatever it is, when you're doing it, it's like you almost black out. You forget what you said. You're just like in this complete flow state. And to me, the more people living in that flow state, like that's what's actually going to like heal the world.
Yes. 100%.
And so overcoming resistance is something that you have to sort of tackle every morning. I like have coffee. I have like morning coffee with resistance.
What's up, resistance? Nice to see you today. And
here's what's on our schedule today. Like you're welcome to join me, but like I'm gonna do this anyway.
I love that. And I would love for you to do a training on that. And it's also where the group component comes in that's so helpful. Like when you have other people that are facing that resistance with you, who are on the same path with you, especially at the startup phase, like we found our group calls to be like so transformative, because here's all these people that are at the same stage, that are all going through the resistance, that can relate to each other, and some people that are ahead that could say, hey, look, like I'm on the other side of the resistance, I just went through that, like you got to do it. And it creates this new fuel and this new context to be excited about moving through those challenges and those things that potentially on your own you might get held back. So like there's so many things on the plus side to getting a mentor, to getting a coach, to getting a group that you can have to support you along this journey. And like the breakthroughs that we've witnessed our clients have because of that is just freaking remarkable.
I like live for those client breakthroughs.
Yes. 100%.
And it's so, I'm so glad you said that, because I think having a coach or having somebody with you is so like crucial. Like I wouldn't have launched Authentic Marketing Program if it wasn't for you sort of like getting me to put myself out there, saying, this is what you have to do. And you really have to trust your coach, right? Like we trusted you. And so it's just like, I wish I could tell all my clients, like, I wish my tagline could just be like, do what I say and it will work. Because I'm just met with so much, but it's beautiful. And the conversations that happen are beautiful. And we have one client and they are amazing. They've never launched an offer. They have this massive following. When they came to us, I was like, this is my dream client, because I know that we can really take them to the next level. And I was like, okay, first things first, you guys need to host a retreat. And they were like, no way, like it will never sell. We can't do it, da, da, da. And I went back and forth with this guy for like 2 weeks. And finally he launched it. It's sold out. They've made 40 grand or whatever. Like
amazing.
And they said to me on the call last week, I would have never even had the idea of launching a retreat if it wasn't for you. And so it's like, but then they did it. Like I could only say, that's the thing. Like, and I tell everybody this that comes to work with this, like, you have to show up, like you have to meet me there. You have to be ready. But I often find that people that find us are ready. Like they don't come into my sphere unless they're like, okay, like it's fucking time.
Yep. Like there are people, listening to this podcast, right now who are thinking of themselves like, that's me. Like, I'm ready to work with Krista. I'm ready to work with David. Like, I'm ready to step into this. And that's
my biggest advice is just like, do it. I mean, if you really feel that you have something that is meaningful, that is awesome, that you see this life for yourself, like David can help you sort of like craft that message and craft all of that. And then what we do is we help you scale it. And the Authentic Marketing Program is great also because, eventually I would love all of my clients to be super successful and be able to hire their own marketing team.
Yeah.
But I think marketing is so like, people don't really know what it is. It's icky. Like they know they need to do marketing, but they don't know what that means. And what we do is we actually teach you like a custom strategy to take that idea, that concept, that offer that David helps you create, and create a custom marketing strategy. So it's like, okay, if for example, that every time you drop an email, you're going to get 5 new clients or 5 new leads or calls, then our strategy is going to be to grow your email list. We don't need to be doing this other stuff. 100%. So it's like keeping people on track. And once you have like an offer that you're confident in and a strategy that will work, it's like, I love seeing that happen for people. And
like people might be like we've had this happen before where clients come to us and they're not even like super certain, like they know they want something, but they're not even super certain about what that offer could be or what it could look like. They just have a few ideas. And like, if you're in that phase, that's totally cool. We had this client, Vanessa, who her thing, like she loved helping people and she loved coaching and speaking and stuff like that, but she hadn't fully dove in and launched her business. And we were at a retreat together and I was talking to her about it and she didn't really have a reason why. She just didn't have clarity onto what she really wanted or how to go about doing it. And what we found after a call diving in together is like what she really cared about was actually her transformational journey happened because after college, she pieced out, didn't go get a job, or actually got a job but quit her job and then moved to London and spent a year in London traveling around Europe. And that transformed her life forever. So she met all these amazing people. She stepped more into herself, more into her purpose, more into her gifts. And like, it just lit her soul up. And so when I dove into that experience, like we ended up finding out that what she really wanted to do is help people take that leap. So we've now packaged a program around helping people that are coming out of university and college who want to go travel and want to go experience life, where she could actually be a guide to help them do that. So now she's like living her passion, living her Dharma, and helping people, travel to these remote and beautiful places where they get to live the experience that they've always wanted. And she didn't even know that was a possibility before, right? She just had this desire and thought the best way was like motivational speaking. But after like dialing into that message, now she's getting on sales calls and talking to people about it and really growing her business. She just quit her job. And like, so all these magical things are happening because she was able to create and craft this offer around something that she really, really loved that she didn't even know was a possibility. And now that the momentum has been activated, what's happening for her is just fucking incredible.
I love that story. And I'm glad that you said that, because I think that that's a big component of your program is like, you'll help people craft that offer that they might not even know is there. And that's what the authentic marketing program really was. Like, I knew that I needed to scale my business. We want to sail around the world. We want to purchase a boat. That's our big dream. And as much as I love my agency clients, are the reason why I wake up in the morning, I'm not going to leave them and they're not going to leave me. So there's no way to like scale and grow it. And so you basically were like, here's what the program can be. Here's how you deliver that, and sort of helped like craft each week, each call. And then at the end of the day, Clay and I did do a lot of the work, but with your sort of guidance and like structure around it, it became possible. So anyway, I'm just really excited about this program and excited to sort of like share you. I mean, David really has been the secret to my personal brand sort of success, and me sort of stepping into that fire of, I actually like want to do more speaking, and just sort of like realizing all of the possibilities that come with who you are basically and what you love. So I'm so grateful. And how can people, I guess, now get on the phone with you and like apply for this program? Like, how does it work now? When does it start? What's the date?
Our next launch date is March 15th. So if you are listening to this right now, like you're going to have a link under this?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So go to the link. It's embodiedinfluencer.com/authentic audience. We have a custom page just for you. And go apply to a call. You can learn a little bit more on that page, but right there, you'll be able to book a call with us. And then let's just chat. Like, let's explore. Let's talk about where you're at. Like, let me help you, give you some clarity. And regardless of whether or not the program's a good fit, like, I'm willing to hop on this call just to support where you're at and see what you need. And if the program that we offer is exactly what you need, then we'll let you know and walk you through exactly how you could do that so that you could jump on board this train of momentum with us, right? We're going to be taking 10 people, so spots are limited. So if this is resonating with you, like go to the page right now, book a call with me, and like, let's just talk. Let's have a conversation about your goals, your dreams, where you want to be, what your gifts are, and how you could package that into a program and an offer that really supports you and can transform the lives of your clients.
Man, you're like the king of sales, but it's like so authentic. I'm just like, can you just like, I'm watching him, we're on video right now, and like seeing him like sort of light up doing this. It's like, I mean, it's so cool. And I have to say, like, from my own personal, like, just to say, this is my first like partnership that I have sort of like announced or like taken on, or like I am now like responsible. Yeah. I feel responsible that if somebody finds you through me, that they have an amazing experience, and I like fully trust that. So just to people who are listening and who have followed my journey and who trust me, I trust David like so completely, and promoting anybody else or taking on anybody else through a partnership is like not something I take lightly. And so the fact that this is now an offering that David and I have sort of partnered together in this way, I'm like over the moon actually, to be able to like share this, because I would not be doing this lightly. And I 100% have so much faith in this program. And it really is like the phase 1 to our program. And it just happened so like naturally or organically. And I love when things like this work out. So I want to have you back on again. I think there's so much we can sort of dive into, but I think for the sake of, Embodied Influencer is starting really soon. And we were talking last week and I said, we got to get on the podcast and talk about how this partnership came to be and what the Embodied Influencer is. And I think next time we can dive into some more stuff. And I'm so grateful to know you. Thank you for transforming our business and our brand. It's been so cool.
Thank you, Krista. Yeah, it feels really good to hop on here and talk to you. Like, I feel honored just to hear those words from you. And yeah, like I appreciate you and Clay as much as you appreciate, the work that I've been able to do with you. And I'm so happy that we get to form a partnership and relationship like this. Like, I remember since the first time I met you guys, I was like, man, I got to figure out some way to work with these two, because there's just chemistry. Like, there's some people that you just connect with, and you know that if you do something together, something magic will happen. And I feel like this is one of those moments, and the fact that it flowed so effortlessly is like so clear and evident that that's the case. So I appreciate you being open to, this partnership even happening, and I can't wait to see where this goes. And I'm really looking forward to impacting those in your audience in any way that we can, and supporting them and stepping into their Dharma so they could, move to the next level of their experience.
I love that we're using this word Dharma so much.
Right.
Thanks, David. And yeah, again, so I'll put the link in the description of this episode. I'm also going to have it in my link in bio on Instagram. It's called the Embodied Influencer. You can book a free call with David to learn more about the program and talk to him about your brand. Highly, highly recommend it. And until next time, keep growing.